and welcome to the National Service Learning Partnership's Inform and Influence video series. We'll give you step-by-step directions on how to advocate for service learning in your communities. Determine the who, the offer, and the ask. When approaching policymakers, advocates must make an ask. The ask is what you want the policymaker to do. Obviously, the ask will be determined by which policymakers are being approached, what the scope and scale of their authority is, and how they can use their policymaking role to advance the use of service learning. When devising the ask, it's important to determine what concessions you are willing to make, and figure out who will negotiate for you, as well as how, when, and where. Often it is wise to consider making an offer before you make an ask. For example, offer a politician a chance to come visit a service learning class before you ask them to vote on a piece of legislation that favors service learning. Make the visit a good photo op so that they can get something that they value in return for visiting the class. Prepare messages and materials. As you prepare a communication strategy for your advocacy work, organize the information and messages that you want to use. Provide clear, concise, and compelling language about what service learning is, how it works, what its impact is, and why it is important. You must also choose appropriate messengers and other relevant communication vehicles. Messages, as well as language, depend on context. That is, to whom they are directed, why, when, where, and by whom. Your message should be carried by many people. You, your allies, service learning practitioners and students, students' families, educators, members of the media, community partners, staff, civic leaders, and the like. Similarly, your messages can come in many forms. For example, a letter, an email, an information folder, a press release, a report, a CD, or a video. As you craft your messages and develop the materials and messengers to convey them, bear in mind these communication pointers. Keep it simple, but don't oversimplify. We are all swamped with information, and that's especially true for government officials and other policymakers. Invest time in developing messages that are straightforward without sacrificing the essence of ideas that are central to your cause. Use succinct language and engaging images to make service learning come alive. Avoid jargon. As you reread something you have written, ask yourself if it was the kind of everyday language found in a serious newspaper. Do not use acronyms, and make sure you change or explain language that might be known only to insiders. For instance, if talking about the federal No Child Left Behind legislation for the Learn and Serve America program, do not resort to NCLB or LSA. Strike the right balance. Your messages must reflect the concerns of your constituency. They should also take into account the priorities of the policymakers you are trying to engage. Emphasize data and stories. Numbers show that you are willing to be accountable for tangible results, and faces make service learning real. Think about how to reframe issues. You've probably had the experience of making a logical case for something you care about by citing relevant data, yet finding that no matter how hard you try, opinions won't budge. Everyone clings to ways of understanding the world, and it takes some time to persuade people to consider new ones. Send a unified message to elected officials. Political leaders pay more attention to similar communications from a group of teachers, parents, and community leaders than to scattered letters or emails that deal with different aspects of the issue. The impact of coordinated messages will be even stronger if some of them come from school board members and other community leaders who represent broader constituencies. For more tips on how to communicate about service learning, visit the National Service Learning Partnership's website at www.service-learningpartnership.org.